Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I'd like to pass it over to Ms. Hamida Bash, one of the directors of the Trinidad and Tobago Cuba Exchange Project.
Your Worship, good morning to all. Your Worship, it was quite an experience. I started off this project as a principal of Success Lavington Secondary School, where I took my children to Cuba for that 10 days. And when I came back, I was so impressed with the Cuban and their cultural grasp of what they offer to their own people that I felt we needed to come back and do something like that at the school. The Cubans, of course, they were so impressed with the steel band and the children as musicians that when the students came back, they told me that they felt they were appreciated as musicians for the first time. Now, they had gone to other countries before, and yet when they stayed together in Cuba, they felt that kind of synergy, so that they can perform together, they can live together, they were in the same hotel together, and that was their experience of being appreciated as musicians. What more can a principal ask for? When we came back, of course, we were told that having gone, why don't we now have the Cubans visit us? And so I wanted to expand the visual and performing arts department in the school. I did not have a dance teacher, so I wanted to introduce dance to the school. We had a post, and this was the catalyst for me to work on getting a dance teacher, try and develop a dance studio at the school, and borrow some space because we are all limited in space and funds. And that began the partnership between public and private sectors. It was a model that we used, and it worked for us. Thanks to Mr. Cumberbatch, he came on board and project managed it, because as a principal, when you have to run the day-to-day affairs of a school, it's almost impossible to go beyond. And we had to go beyond the long hours of working into the night to get things done. But the experience was workshops that benefited the students of secondary schools, tertiary institutions, and developed a certain amount of interest. Some of my students, they kept in contact with the Cubans afterwards, and one student in particular told me that she wanted to become a professional dancer, and she kept in touch with one of the Cuban dancers. After that, when we brought, to continue that interest in dance and promoting dance and the career aspect of the visual and performing arts, Habana Compass was invited. Why were they invited? Because I had seen them and how they performed when we were in Cuba. They amazed me. There were murals in their dance studio. There were drums that had all these wonderful carvings on it, done by their master drummer. And he designed a drum called Drum of the Seven Mouths. One drum that brought out 7 bits of drumming technique. And when I saw the flamenco dancers, as well as the African rhythms underpinning that flamenco, it was just absolute joy. And I felt that this was something that we could build upon coming out of the Folklorico Nacional de Cuba and that dance company. The flamenco was, of course, now introducing the European culture and the folklore, the African culture. And then we all realized that underpinning all the flamenco is that ancient classical Indian dance called Kathak. And we, therefore, brought on board for this visit the Kala Kathak Sangam with Dr. Satnarayan Balkaran Singh. And he now did workshops with the Indian classical Kathak dance form at Shogunas Indoor Sports Arena. So it was an attempt to bring some more exposure this time to the Cubans, to what we can offer to them, because we think that they come and offer us something. Well, we said that we can also have that true exchange where the Cubans can also learn from us, and boy, did they learn from us. On their first visit, limbo was something that was amazing to them. Afterwards, the classical Indian dance, you could see that they were so interested in seeing the similarity with the rhythmic patterns in the steps. After which, of course, they were exposed to the ballet and all our folk dance that they were not so familiar with, but they could see the similarities. And I was so grateful when I saw the response of the secondary schools. And Napurima, Ms. Hines, I want to say thank you so much for always embracing the 2 visits. You brought your students, and you were really also an inspiration from the teacher level. Ms. Dorich, I can't say how much I am grateful to for St. Joseph Convent, you know, supporting that, you supporting it. And San Fernando West, when Yana came, she came as one of the VAPA teachers from the school, because we wanted the schools to also be the beneficiaries of this project. So this is where we started, this is how we expanded, and now we continue to hear that, you know, what is next. Well, we don't know what is next, but we hope that we can have something in store. We worked with the Cuban embassy. It was such a privilege to work so closely with the Cuban ambassador during the last 2015, 2017, and 2019. So girls, it was nice to see lots of girls, but most of all, we had lots of boys. And one of the things that we try to overcome is that stereotyping about male dancers. So it was good for the boys to see Habana Compass. There were 2 astounding male dancers. So one other thing that was remarkable, and the teachers remarked on it, is how the Habana Compass, the dancers are percussionists as well. So they are not inseparable. And it was observed that this is something that was another stereotype that was broken, because the females don't do the drumming as much as the male. And here it is, we had females just, you know, playing the bata drums that had a certain amount of spiritual significance and was male dominated in terms of who played it. So now the women were playing it. So the women are empowered through dance, and this was something that we want to see happen in schools as well, women empowerment. So, Your Worship, I want to say how grateful we are that you hosted Habana Compass on a visit, and to that end, I know when we had the supper concert, the Deputy Mayor, Mrs. Vidya Mangal Bisesa, she attended it.
Around January time, and I'm difficult to get the job.
Yes, we know the panorama is around the corner. But she attended, and you were well represented, and delightfully so. And at that time, I did not have the opportunity to make presentations to her. And so I would like you to receive on her behalf a little token of our appreciation for her attendance at the supper concert. And I would also like to present you as well with a token of our appreciation for supporting us so handsomely.
I want to ask 2 questions while you're getting
Sure.
your thing together.
Good.
Right? So, to the students, how many